If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. I could probably end the list right there, but I'm going to continue. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. Speaking from personal experience, creating a podcast felt so overwhelming. I didn't know where to start, but using Anchor was a no-brainer. Their website and app is user-friendly. You're able to navigate through it easily. It's pretty cool, guys. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. A one-stop shop. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. On this week's episode of the Indie Center podcast, we sit down with actor, writer, and producer Caleb Kurowski. But before we get into that, a word from our sponsors. This episode of the Indie Center podcast is brought to you by Spotify, the place where you can listen to your favorite artists and podcasts for free. Did you hear me? You don't even need a premium membership. Spotify has a huge catalog of podcasts on every topic, including the one you're listening to right now. On Spotify, you can follow your favorite podcast so you never miss an episode. Are you subscribed to me yet? Wink, wink. Premium users can download episodes to listen to offline wherever you are, and that is so convenient. How many times have you found yourself in an airplane or driving down a road with no reception and you just want to escape but can't? You are stuck sitting next to somebody that snores, or you're stuck in a meaningless conversation and you just want to listen to podcasts. Well, now you can, guys. And you can easily share what you're listening to with your friends on Instagram. So if you haven't done so already, be sure to download the Spotify app and search for Indie Center Podcast on Spotify, or browse podcasts in the Your Library tab. Also, make sure to follow me so you never miss an episode. All right, episode number, I want to say 24. I fucking suck with this. I am here with actor, writer, producer, man of many hats, Caleb. How you doing, buddy?
How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah,
man, you have so much work, and I want to get down to as much as I can, but I want to start from the very top. When did you start falling in love with film?
Well, ever since I was a little kid, I've always had these fond memories of visiting the movies with my dad. Pretty much just saw whatever me as a little kid would be interested, like whatever is popular during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a couple movies we've seen together with when the first one when it came out, back in 2001. And there's a lot of Disney and Pixar films, but what really got me interested in the whole filmmaking experience was after when Avatar came out in 2009, that I got that realization that I wanted to become a filmmaker.
Really, from
I was 15
Avatar?
years old. Yeah.
So you're saying Disney, Pixar, Avatar, all these animated pictures. If you were to pick your top three best animated films, what would they be?
That's kind of a hard one, but I do know that after seeing the Sonic the Hedgehog movie earlier this year, that just blew me away. I was very impressed with everything about it. I'm a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan when I was a kid, and still am now.
Sonic the Hedgehog, wasn't there a controversy about that with his teeth?
Yeah. So basically, what happened was the original design was completely different than the modern Sonic the Hedgehog that is now. Because I'm not really sure why they wanted to go through with that idea, but I think it was just kind of more wanting to make them seem more realistic.
Yeah.
And not just kind of this cartoon hedgehog kind of thing. But yeah, but I'm glad that they went back and redesigned everything because it looks so much better now.
So much more authentic.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, like staying true to like the actual like video games.
Well, that's good. I mean, I know there's a lot of people. I mean, Sonic goes back years, man. I remember when I was younger playing Sonic on the Sega Genesis. Like,
Yeah,
there's diehard fans that if you don't get it right, they're gonna cancel culture you, man. They're gonna go at your neck with it, man.
yeah.
So you said at 15 when you saw Avatar, that's the one that kind of flipped the switch. What is your biggest influences for creating film?
I mean, well, obviously James Cameron
Mm.
is the like he's like my favorite director. Like just everything about like his films, like it had like so much like he was like pretty much like very like ahead of his time,
Yeah.
you know, like because he didn't go to film school either, you know, he like basically like took everything and just learned it through like osmosis, you know, like just basically self-taught them. And that's pretty much like what I did when I first started out like doing like the stop motion films back when I was like 14 years old.
Mm.
But then
Go ahead.
oh, and then you know, like I've been like doing the stop motion films like for a while, and then like someone told me, hey, you know, you should check out Columbia College in Chicago. It's a film school.
Mhm.
So I did, and I submitted. I got accepted, and yeah, that's where I've learned like more the filmmaking process.
So stop motion was your first take on creating film?
Yep.
Man, so 14, 15. How difficult is it to create stop motion?
It's time consuming, and it's like a lot of like you need to have like a lot of patience, a lot of attention to detail to do stop motion. A lot of my like stop motion films like weren't the best,
Mhm.
but like after like you know gradually doing it for a while, like then I started like getting a lot better and just got more of that patience and just you know it's like that's pretty much like all I really did like when I was like this was like back when I was in like the eighth grade all
Mhm.
the way to like high school. It's like that's all I really wanted to do was like I wanted to keep making these stop motion films, you know, just that's like all I would do like on my spare time and on the weekends and you know.
So what was the first project that you did completely?
In terms of like live, well, are you talking about like the stop motion, the live action?
Just in general, like your first project, may it be stop motion or live action.
Okay, well, back when I was in Columbia College, like I consider like my my first project to be it's called the $20 million Man. It was a project that I shot for class for my moving image productions at Columbia College back in 2013.
Mhm.
It was a homage to like like the Mel Brooks films like Blazing Saddles, High Anxiety, a
Mhm.
little bit of Young Frankenstein. And yeah, it wasn't my best film, but like I said, I've gotten better over the years.
Well, I mean, the more often you do it, the better you get. So, I mean, I'm pretty.
Yeah, of
Do you look at
course.
that? Do you look at? Have you looked at it now, as of recent?
Y- Yeah, I mean, like I feel like it's one of like my projects where like I've it was like very well written and like the jokes were pretty good, but like in terms of like just how the way like it was shot and all that, you know, I could obviously there's always room for improvement. You know, I could always do better.
Yeah. So, looking at your list of projects, right? You got comedy, you got drama, you got stop motion, animation in there. If you were to rate the top three, your films, right? Rate the top three
Yeah.
that would kind of define who you are. What would they be?
Um. So the first one would probably be Slow Burn, which is my most recent one.
Mm.
Um. And then my second one is Time Saver, and then my third one is Happy Anniversary. And all the three films deal with like the theme of death, loss, and relationships.
Hmm.
Like with Slow Burn, it deals with the miscarriage of the protagonist's baby and the near death of the marriage with Naomi and Dan over their arguments about medical marijuana. And then Time Saver is about going back in time to save David's girlfriend from a fatal accident. And it's also about like fixing a broken relationship over a big misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And Happy Anniversary deals with letting go of the death of a loved one and to keep looking at the positives in life and just keep going. And so pretty much like with all three films, like I with the themes of like the death, loss, and relationships, I feel like everyone can like relate to that in some aspect, and that's what I like to explore in my films is that I want people to evoke like an emotional response and like you know just kind of like make them like be a part of like my films, like with their like experiences.
Yeah, that they're invested in it. And I honestly, like, I didn't know what your top three would be, but out of those top three, the Time Saver and Happy Anniversary were my favorite because I was so
Okay.
emotionally invested in it. I want to drill down to your first one, your
Okay.
first slot, which was Slow Burn. That's a really sensitive topic. What's the origin story of that?
Okay, so pretty much like the premise of Slow Burn, it's about a young Christian woman who suffers through PTSD after a miscarriage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've throughout my life, I've came from like that Catholic background, and that was something that everyone like pretty much like most people could relate to. Like, they'd grown up like to be like to like some kind of religious background, and now like kind of just more like agnostic, like from experience, like just through growing up.
Yeah.
But and then I've kind of like always like even like with like the whole like religious background and stuff, like I kind of was like against like the whole like like marijuana thing, like because like how they say like they say like it's a dangerous drug. It's Schedule
It's the
One, but
devil's
it's not.
lettuce. It's
Yeah,
in churches. It's the devil's lettuce. Uh-huh.
yeah, that's pretty much like how I've heard of it like in my Catholic years. But then like after like a few years ago, like I started getting open to like the whole like medical cannabis and like how like it helps people. And then like I the first time I tried marijuana was like when I was 24 years old, and it's like there's nothing wrong with this. I mean, it's like it's it's all natural, like grows from the earth. It's not man-made. It's not gonna get you addicted or anything like that.
It just makes everything more fun.
Yeah, basically.
So so medical marijuana, right? Now
Yeah.
this time with January, where Illinois has become, legal for recreational use. How did you get down to the PTSD aspect of the project?
I've just known people who have PTSD and have like smoked marijuana that like help with relieve it, and that's
Mm,
and like I feel like every person kind of has like those like moments, like post traumatic stress disorder, like from like like past personal experiences.
mhm.
So that was like kind of one of the things where like people can relate to like at a more like personal level.
Yeah, dude, it's that's a really hard pill to swallow, man. I mean, your topics are really like to the to the throat with it, and it's it's not these are not easy films to watch if you've been through it, but these are
Yeah.
very educational if you haven't, so that way you kind of relate to the character in the film.
Yeah.
um I'm really interested in Slow Burn, man. I can't wait to see it. When is it coming out?
So it's still currently in post production. Just
Hmm.
finishing up, like trying to get in the picture lock, and then after that, the sound's going to be mixed, music's going to be added, color grading. So just kind of like the finishing touches. But
Okay.
I'm really hoping that my goal is to get it like all finished by this month, or like May the latest. But
Wow.
before the summer is my goal.
Okay, looking forward to it. We touched briefly on stop motion. How long did it take for you to film the Krakening? Because I was so like the whole concept of stop motion is so tedious to me.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to enjoy a stop motion movie because all I can think about is how long it took,
Okay.
or the special effects that they have on there, explosions, like, oh my god, that looks so crazy. How
Yeah.
long did it take for you to film the Krakening?
So that was also for a class project at Columbia. It was for my stop motion class. I filmed it with it was me and like my partner, and we like took turns like just animating like different sequences.
Mm.
So most of it was pretty much filmed like from my partner, and then I took over like doing like half of it, and then it took us like a full day to like animate that. I mean, it's very short.
Oh yeah, it's 40 seconds. I counted it. I looked at it. I'm like, oh, 40 seconds. I want to see how long this took.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're dabbling into different genres. You're doing very well in comedy. I like your comedic timing, your responses, even your counterpartner when you guys react. I love it. And you're
Yep.
doing drama. Which is your niche?
Um, I think both of them are my niche. I mean, like, I kind of just like to experiment with like different genres. Just like to explore like just the difference between each one.
Okay. I wanted to get into the correlation between silence and death.
Okay.
I noticed a lot in Happy Anniversary and Time Saver that there's moments where the main character he's in deep thought or he's confused or he's just there trying to figure out what's happening and it's just silent. Like, and it's really rare for me to hear that in a lot of movies. Usually they fill it with background noise or music, but a lot of the film is silent. Is there a correlation between that?
Not really. It's just with like the whole like dealing with like a loss. It's like everyone just wants like to be silent, but
Mm.
it's like really like kind of like looking through like the eyes of like the main character of like what they're going through, and just like the audience will like fill in the blanks of like like just kind of like processing like what he's going through.
Exactly, because it many times I was left there with my thoughts, like trying to figure out what's really going on. Like it made me start thinking about the character and what he's feeling.
Yeah.
So it's really powerful. It's a silence is key right there. So what's next for you?
Um, so for right now, I'm just finishing up Slow Burn, and then I'm just doing some more writing. I will be producing one of my friend's films in like the summer, and looking forward to that one. And then next year, I was gonna try and get like this series, like it's like a half animation, half live action like series that I want to try and get off the ground for next year, and that's a comedy as well. And that's like pretty much like what my next projects are.
Okay. Do you have any special any advice to give to aspiring filmmakers, actors, writers?
I say just if you want to like get into like the filmmaking, it's just get like a bunch of friends, like-minded friends, and just write something, shoot something with any camera. It doesn't matter like if it's like a big project, a small project, uh low budget, no budget. It's just try to like get like friends together and just make films, and also read screenplays, watch movies, and yeah,
Just jump into it.
yeah.
Just jump into it. I mean, it's so easy to make films nowadays. People are doing it off their phones. Like there is no excuse as to why, you can't do it. There's so many outlets that you could uh, gravitate to that could create that film for you.
Yeah.
Do you have any special shout outs?
I would just like to take a shout out to all my friends and family who have supported me over my years and with my filmmaking career, and I'm just glad that I just have that like tremendous amount of support, and it just fuels me to keep going.
All right, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure, talking to you.
Yeah,
I'm
of
gonna
course.
continue watching your films. You gained a fan from this, man. But I would definitely, spread the word and share your projects so that way it'll be out there for you. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, man. Take care. If you enjoyed this week's episode, please make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay centered on all Indie Center podcast episodes. If you are an independent creator and have a story to share and want to have a sit down, please email me at indiecenter.podcast@gmail.com. That's indiecenter.podcast@gmail.com. If you have sponsorship inquiries, I'd love to help local businesses. Please email me at indiecenter.podcast@gmail.com. Until next Monday, guys. Peace.